Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's Monday night and it's the Tilton Talk Show sponsored by AMG Logistics. I'm Paul Hipkiss and we're joined by Claire Giblin.
Good evening.
Over in the States, welcome back, Mark Meredith.
Good evening, all.
Season debut. The Chairman, Alan Watson.
Good evening, everybody.
And not in a robe, and now in a robe, Mark Coventry.
Good evening, everyone. Hope you're all okay.
And last but not least, Chris Browne.
Good evening, Mark.
Who are you?
We're not. Yeah, the reason I said Craig is because we haven't got Craig with us yet, but apparently he's going to be joining us at some point from his all-inclusive resort in Mallorca. So that was why I got my Craigs and Chris's mixed up. But
we look similar, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely. So 2 away wins in a week. They come along like buses, Claire. Obviously, start us off with Charlton away. I know you was at both games. So Charlton away, what a goal. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, 2 away wins in a week. When have we ever seen? I don't think we've seen an away win since, was it January someone put or something like that?
Yeah.
Honestly, absolutely buzzing, as you can tell by the smile on my face. It was fantastic. Charlton, we looked the better team all the way through. Been nervous at the start, but it was nice to see some of the ones that hadn't played play. So it was nice to see them. Like Hansen was just phenomenal again. It was nice to see Jukovic do 55 minutes as well. So a lot of them, they got some, really good minutes under their belt. But that goal by Keller, I mean, he did make a few mistakes, don't get me wrong, but that goal was absolutely phenomenal. I know that his mum and dad were in the crowd as well to see that, so it was such a good moment. But I thought Charlton, we were, theirs weren't their first team either, so it was really hard to kind of see the difference, but we did outplay them, and obviously we're doing the tippy-tappy stuff at the back, which I think hopefully by about in 2 months' time we'll be okay afterwards, because sometimes it kills your heart when you're watching it like there. Yeah, but Charlton's fantastic, and Wycombe, wow. I mean, the atmosphere from the Blues fans at Wycombe, the 1,800 that went, we didn't stop singing. It was like an old school away game. When they went 1-0 up, it kind of was a bit of a shock, I'm not going to lie. But we were all over them. We just need to make more chances, I think. I think we have so much of the ball now that, we are going to get hit on the counter-attack. They only had a hoof ball up, and they had a big striker up front to literally flick it on, and that's where the goal came from. But I thought Laird, thankfully, got the ball into the box this time. Hansen was sensational again. Paik ran the show. Bilic, I mean, if we could get another centre-half, if Bilic played in midfield, I think that would change everything for us as well, especially if we do go up, or hopefully we do. Because he's brilliant, moving the ball up. But Yokoyama, the pace of that lad was literally that ball across. How he got there in front of the defender, nobody knows. And then he took him on and got the ball in. Yeah, and I think that's Dembele gone for me, because I think he's pace, and he's just he's quite small, and they all celebrated together, which was brilliant. And him and Laird had their own celebration, but we're really, really good. I like the fact that now possession is turning into chances, especially at the weekend, and I can't wait for Leighton Orient now, honestly. I mean, it was a shock turning up to Wickham away, but that's what we're going to have. So really pleased. 2 away wins. Come on.
Brilliant. Yeah, going back to Charlton, obviously credit to Ryan Allsop as well, because, unfortunately, it was Tyler Roberts, wasn't it, who gave the penalty away. And then he saved it well, didn't he, Alan?
Yes, and he impressed me, the goalkeeper, not because he obviously made a great save for the penalty. He just looks a little bit more assured than the other guy. I'm not saying he should be in the side or whatever, but he impressed me with his assuredness. He took crosses, he played the ball with his feet comfortably. And, there was no flapping at the ball or whatever. He just looked accomplished. He didn't have a lot to do, but what he did, I was impressed with. Now, Charlton was so impressive. The only thing that, the old one goal a game, here we go, and we've got to keep a clean sheet to win the match. Well, that was turned on its head on Saturday. Again, the original side that was picked, we were 1-1, and then he made all the changes, and it went up. It went up a notch. We scored 2 goals quite quickly, and then a bit sad by the second goal. I mean, that was crap. I mean, we were all over the place, and it was, I think, lack of concentration, which we can't do. If we score 3 goals and concede 2 every week, yeah, fine, but we ain't going to, if that had been 2-1 and we'd have conceded that goal, we would have been so critical. But I like what I'm seeing. Some of the tippy-tappy at the back, sometimes it goes wrong, but we've got good, quick defenders who covered up quickly. Suddenly, he gives the ball away, and that person is surrounded immediately, and there's a good chance we're going to get the ball back very quickly after that. So it does put the wind up me. But again, I trust in the midfield players and the ball winners to get that ball back pronto.
Yeah, definitely. I think the 4 goals that we've scored as well have all been good quality, haven't they? Over the 2 games. I mean, William Williamson. I'll come on to you, Mark Meredith. William Williamson's impressing me. What I've seen of him, I know he only sort of, came on for a sort of short period of time, didn't he, on Saturday, because he had to go off with concussion. But the way he took that goal, you could just see that he was levels above, weren't it? The way he finished it.
Yeah, very good player technically. For a big guy as well, technically very good. Positionally as well, I thought we missed him at the start of the game, to be honest with you. I know Harris ran around and did stuff, but we just, May had to keep dropping into that area to receive the ball. And, that's something that he didn't have to do when he came on. Going back to the Charlton game, I think, for me, it had a whole feeling of a cup game to start with, just because of the change in the team and for both teams. And I think it livened up, obviously, after the penalty save. We had a little bit more belief in us. I feel we did, I do feel we controlled the game in large amounts. And I agree with Alan on the fact that the disappointment in it was not getting more than 1 goal on that night. I think, we had a couple of chances second half. It could have been 2 or 3, and we could have been going into it, with a big away win. And then you come on to Saturday and again controlled the game from start to finish. I think maybe Wickham had at 10 minutes after they scored. I think, Bellick was a little unlucky with it. His body shape probably wasn't the best at the time, but he was running back in, just couldn't get his leg to swing around. But full credit to Davis as the coach. I think the substitutes he made on Saturday changed the game. I think we were always in control, but I think it just gave that extra little bit of quality when we needed it. some fresh legs and, brought it on. And the nice thing about it now, like I am nervous when we're playing the tippy-tappy and the things around the back, but what you can see is these players are starting to believe in in what he wants and, the philosophy of what he's bringing in. And if you look back 12 months ago when we had the other guy in, nobody really wanted to believe or trust in it. But I think now we see that these players coming in from goalkeeper to attack are all trusting in what he wants to do. And he's getting better as game goes on. So, I am very pleased with 2 away wins, and let's move on and get another one on Saturday.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting debate. So obviously Sanderson's available Saturday, right? So does he come back in the 11 or does he leave it as it is? Because obviously going back to what you said, Claire, if we've got another centre half, which we obviously have in Sanderson, does he come in next to Clara and you put Bielik in midfield and sacrifice Leonard or Paik, or do you keep a winning team?
Don't change a winning team. Clara was brilliant, and I think that was only what I was saying about Bielik is if I think it hopefully when we go up in the Championship, it might be a different story, but I think Bielik is a man mountain, and I trust Davis immensely at the moment. And I think I agree with, what Mark has just said. Literally, the subs changed the game. How often have we been crying out for subs at 60 minutes? And he's not afraid to make a substitution either and go a little bit different as well, which is really, really nice to see. But I wouldn't. I think at the end of the day, Clara's got to keep his place.
Yeah. I'll put that out to our viewers as well. Would anyone bring Sanderson back in the 11? Would you just leave it as it is and maybe Sanderson goes on the bench or what? I don't know whether or not we could sacrifice any of the 7 subs that we had, because obviously I've just seen someone mention there that has anyone got an issue with that? 18 player squad. You're only allowed 7 subs. It can affect. Obviously there's players missing out altogether because of it, isn't there, Mark Adams?
That's it. I mean, like I say, going back to the 2 games, I love the fact we've got options. I mean, that is something unheard of the last couple of years. But to have, more or less, he said himself he wants to get 2 players for every position, doesn't he? I mean, going back to the cup game, it seems like the whole squad, not just the starting 11, the whole squad have had it drilled into them a certain way of playing. We're all going to play it and stick to it, and then they're all reading off the same script. And to have a goal of the season or this early in the season, because we're going to take some to beat a goal like that, it can only work wonders. I mean, I think we are going to absolutely batter someone at some point. Whether it could even be this weekend. I think there's a lot of goals in the team, and I wouldn't be surprised if we scored 4 or 5 on Saturday. And I think it's going to happen a couple of times this season. Not being arrogant, it's just that's the way we play. We are sort of slowly living up to the billing as being one of the best teams in the league.
Yeah, I think we need to stop conceding sloppy goals though as well from a defensive point.
It'd be nice to win something to 0 to make a real state. You know what I mean? Just a clean sheet and a big score like a 3 or 4-0. Going back to what Al said about the goalkeepers as well, I think both of them have got no flaws at the minute. Both of them look so comfortable, and they both look. You don't know who to choose. So they both look really good. Yeah, so that can only stand us in good stead. Really loving it. Absolutely loving what's happened so far. And we're just carrying on from the friendlies, because most of the friendlies were wins. And it gets into a winning habit, doesn't it? Apart from the Paderborn game. We're just rolling on with it. And who knows where it'll take us.
Yeah, I mean,
It's nice. It's nice to look up the table as well. I know it's early days, but you sort of. I think mentally a lot. I think I've sort of accepted we're in League One now. It felt a bit weird at first, but now you sort of slowly get your head round. It's like, hang on, we are in League One. You've got your head down. It's got embedded into your head a little bit, and it's nice to start looking up, because I don't think we'll be looking down.
Well, like I said, when it happened after the relegation, I think it's happened for a reason, and that's to change that mindset to winning more. You get winning mentality. It's infectious. Just like losing. When you lose, it's hard to snap out of that. Losing run, as we well know over the years. That's certainly over the last 10 or 12 years. When you're in a bad run, it's hard to come out of that. But when you're in a good run, it's just as easy to stay on that path as well, isn't it? But yeah, we've certainly got, I think, by far the best squad in the league. The best strength in depth. The players coming off the bench made the difference, as you said, Mark Meredith. And, long may that continue. And if we just keep winning and winning, then that confidence is going to grow and grow. And as each game comes and goes, we'll hopefully be more happy than sad every time we play.
Well, we're going to lose a few, aren't we, Paul? We're going to lose a few players, aren't we? We've lost JJ. I mean, good luck to him, but he's history now. He's gone.
Yeah.
And we've got over it. We might be losing a couple more if the rumours are to be, that are flying about at the minute.
Yeah.
You expect a couple more to go.
Yeah.
Can I just remark about that, Paul? I think, I certainly did, think to yourself, well, we've gone all the way through the pre-season with JJ, and JJ's played well, and blah blah blah. He looks, he's the one that we're looking to, and then he's gone.
It doesn't make sense.
And he ain't been missed. We all thought we've missed it. Well, why did we do that? And perhaps the first game, possibly, he might have made a difference, but certainly the second two, I didn't, crossed my mind that he wasn't there, and the people that take Leonard, excellent. What I've seen of Harry so far, excellent. And when we got the big Icelander in the middle of that lot, then we do look the business.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. A few early comments coming in. Michael Woods, we've recouped the cash spent. What's people's opinions on Hall and Donovan from Fraser Higgins? I think they're both, young, very good young players with a lot of potential. Whether we'll see him in a blue shirt, obviously, after this window closes, I'm not sure. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I think that what I've seen of both of them, which isn't a lot really, because obviously Hall's been played by injuries, hasn't he? And Donovan's only appeared a couple of times, but I do like what I saw in both of them. Anthony Garvey, we look much better and creative when Williamson dropped into the number 8 central midfield position. He could see the game in front of him, and his passing was superb. I'd echo. Well, yeah.
I would agree with that, yeah.
Yeah. Some bloke called Craig Courtney. Just finished my fresh mussels in garlic sauce. Been really
shut up.
No. Thing is, all this fuss with Craig, he's gone to Morecambe. He hasn't gone to York.
Lilypad, did anyone listen to the Wickham manager and his thoughts on Birmingham? Thought his interview was great and was nice that what he thought of us. So did he say that we reminded him of Ipswich a couple of years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's quite a good compliment.
Yeah, shall we allude to that a bit more, Mark Meredith? What are your thoughts? I mean, it's still very, very early days. I want to, just sort of, take it back a step, because we have drawn 1 and won 1 in the league, and we're certainly showing signs of being the team to beat in this league. Don't get me wrong, but let's just take one game at a time and not think too far ahead. Do you think that's the best thing to do? Certainly as a coach.
No, definitely. Listen, we're going to be the, I'll use the term, the Manchester City of this league. The coaches, the fans, everybody's going to turn their attention to how good we are and what we're going to do this year. But we, as a camp ourselves, we have to make sure that we, we stay grounded. We can see that we've got probably the best team, certainly the biggest talented squad in the division. But you got to let the football do the talking, haven't you? So if we're coming out of every game and their managers saying after every game that they love what Birmingham do and Birmingham are promotion favourites, it means we're doing the right thing, right? And as you say, game by game, we just got to keep going with it. And I'm like, I've been like this for a while, but I'm excited now for Leyton Orient, and I'm not even thinking about the next game after that. Maybe Fulham in the cup, because I think that's an exciting cup tie for us now, especially at St Andrews.
Yeah,
but not in the league. I think you've just got to take every league game as it comes, and it's going to be it's a new test. We got stale in the Championship. We played the same teams, we lost the same games. That everything happened in that horrible time, and it's exciting now that actually, it is a shock to go and watch it on TV and you're playing Wickham away, and then probably Leyton Orient away on Saturday, and I'm sure it's a shock for like Claire and people like that who are actually going to the stadiums. But it's exciting. Some people haven't been to these stadiums before. If we can come away with a win, then long may it continue. I say.
Never lost at Wickham.
Is that right? Al?
Never lost at Wickham.
Yeah.
How many times we played there?
5, I think. In fact, I think we've won them all. I can't remember us drawing. I can remember a couple of cup ties where we won 4-0 and 4-3. A league game where under Barry Fry when we won 3-0. So Saturday, 4 or 5 anyway.
Yeah.
We've lost, on the other side of that, we've lost to them at home a couple of times, but, let's not talk about that.
Forget about that.
Right, Pete,
After 6 months, anyway.
Pete Taylor's made me laugh here. Someone asked earlier, obviously, like I said, what's people's opinions on Hall and Donovan? And Pete Taylor said Out of Touch was my favourite song. Oh, dear.
Love it.
Yeah,
Love it.
Billy Pad again, who loves the Chris Davies chant. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
I don't think I've heard it.
I thought there was a lot. I think the crowd did a great job.
Go on, Claire. Give us a
Sing it,
rendition.
Claire, come on.
Oh, how does it go?
Come on, Claire.
Mm.
Not in that
Hold on,
key.
let me think about it first. Talk a little bit and then
All
I'll
right,
sing
okay.
it.
Okay. C major.
Yeah, no pressure.
Oh, yeah, okay. So we've got Super Chrissy Davies. He knows exactly what we need. Bielik at the back. May in attack. We've got Super Chris Davies, something like that.
Nice.
There you go.
Yeah.
Britain's Got Talent.
Brilliant.
That's it,
Okay,
Claire.
just goes all around the world.
Voice
That's
of an
a no
angel.
from me.
Voice of an angel.
Yeah, we're going to be joined as well by Rob Carlo at some point, aren't we, Chris, to talk about his book called Under the Floodlights?
Yeah. Rob's going to be talking. He's going to go to a few supporters meetings and podcasts and that. Like he's going to be talking about the League Cup and its winners and its history. Should be interesting.
Yeah, I wonder who the only West Midland club is to win that in high definition.
Yeah, you can mention that to him, but I bet he's heard it.
Hey, Claire, Anthony Lloyd said you missed a little bit. So you better go back to the drawing board, girl.
Oh, for God's sake. One job. Just
Well,
one
that
job.
was the one that I was hearing next to me. So,
Well, after 20 siders.
Anthony Lloyd go to the game?
Oh.
I'm just sat. Oh, and then it says, and he'll take us to the Premier League at the end.
Yeah.
My mum's just messaged me going, you missed that bit.
Yeah.
I'm not singing it again.
I'll go on.
So I want to spend a bit of time now talking about Alfie May because every sort of 6 years or so we get a poacher, don't we? I'm saying that because obviously the last proper one we had was probably Shay Adams that season, wasn't it? And then before that it was probably Marlon King, weren't it? And then before that it was Forsell, and then before that it was Phillips. Before that it was Phillips, and then before that it was Forsell. These players come along once in a blue moon, don't they? And I think he's just got that knack, hasn't he, to be in the right place at the right time and stick the ball in the onion bag. You can just tell, can't you?
Yeah,
He
it's
worked
quality,
hard.
isn't it?
He
Would
works
you
hard as
include
well.
Dawson in that list, Paul?
So again,
Say again now.
Would you include Donaldson in that list?
Clayton Donaldson, yeah. I thought Donaldson was an absolute warrior up front for us.
Workhorse, wasn't he?
Yeah. Probably not as prolific as the players I've just said when you look at his goals, but he's very good striker for us. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but I don't think he scored the amount that the other players I've just said did he?
No.
I don't know. I was watching. I'm doing it all the time, watching old videos, and I was comparing Donaldson with the other one you said,
Marlon King.
Marlon King. Very, very similar. In proper centre forwards and scored goals.
Yeah.
I just like. We've discussed of the players that we have had during the last 10 years. Those two stand out. And obviously Shay.
Yeah.
Another. Before we get on, well, I'll start you off on May if you like. We had Shay Adams, right? Took 8 weeks to get in our team. They sat him on the bench. They put him on for 8 weeks.
Yeah,
and then he scored for fun.
Yeah.
Now, Alfie May, right? Whoever signed him has said, he's the bloke I want. He's going to score the goals. In you go. He didn't sit on the bench for 8 weeks waiting to fit him in. He's lad. I mean, where I lived, there's a lot of Charlton supporters, and they were mortified when he left. Mortified. And I said, well, what's he like? And they all said, well, he misses a chance or two, but he didn't have to put a lot away. You know, what more can you ask? What more can you ask? And he's watching him on the field. You know, he works his nuts off.
Yeah.
You know, non-stop.
Yeah.
And the thing that happened on Saturday, he scored a goal, but so we scored another two somewhere else. You know what I mean? And that's been is he the only bloke that's going to get a goal? No, thankfully. But the old Ethan Laird cross put away by Alfie May. You're going to read that an awful lot this season.
The only thing I worry about is at the moment, if May got injured, touch wood he doesn't, who have we got? Because Jukovic, Yokoyama, is he more of a winger? We really need somebody else who could, just in case, because I don't think May can play every game. Because there's going to be too many, so we do need somebody, and I don't think we're going to get Jay back. I just think that's gone dead in the water, and I just think, you know, if we do, absolutely phenomenal, but I do think we need another striker to, just in case May, you know, we need somebody else who can score some goals as well.
Yeah, just to do the comparison.
It's not mine, Paul. Sorry.
Yeah, go on, mate.
I was just going to say, for me, talking about those strikers, I think for me, Alfie May is the Kevin Phillips of the lot of them, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's got that fox in the box mentality, as we say. You know, even Saturday, he was lucky with his goal pretty much on Saturday when he bounced back off him. But he's in the right place at the right time. It hits him and he finishes it quite well. He gets up, he takes penalties. You know, he's confident in doing that. He does the running in behind. He comes inside. I think everything that you've seen Phillips do in that season he did with Sunderland when he scored all those goals, I think we've got that up top for us now, definitely.
Yeah, 100%. Just doing the comparison, I mean, Clayton Donaldson played 113 times for Blues in the league and scored 32 goals. And admittedly, he was in a better side. Obviously, Donaldson was playing for us during really grim times, wasn't he? But Marlon King scored 29 goals in 67 championship games. So, you know, that's a big
1 in 2, isn't it?
Yeah, where Donaldson's got 1 in 3.
Yeah. The thing is with Donaldson as well, Donaldson and Alfie May, I think it's hunger, because Donaldson had never played in the Championship till he was 30, and it's the same. May's 31, never been higher than League One. So I think there's a lot of hunger. There's a lot of sort of realisation that I haven't got long left. So I'm just going to enjoy every minute and just do what I can to play it as high as I can while I've only got a few years left. So you know, it's good on him.
I mean, if
he didn't come to the game too late, so.
No. I think there's every chance he could get like 30 goals this season, Alfie May, in all competitions. And, you know, looking into next season and all being well, it'll be in the Championship. You know, I don't see why he can't go and bag himself, like, you know, comfortably into double figures at that level either, to be honest.
Well, we said last week, Paul, didn't we, after the Reading game, there's not a massive amount of difference between where we were and the top of League One. We saw against Reading, there wasn't a massive... You didn't think, oh, wow, you could tell we're in League One. There wasn't a big golfing class, was there, really?
No, I do think there is, though, if I'm honest. I think we will probably realise that more so as every game goes.
When you've watched some of the games, the Saturday game, you will see the difference. It's a lot of hoofball. It's a lot of getting the ball forward. You know, I mean, the way that their striker shushed us all.
That's silly.
They scored that goal, considering it was a hoofball up. And we were playing them off the park, was just, it was funny, actually. Yeah.
But no, you know, early signs are good. 4 points from a possible 6, and hopefully, you know, on Saturday 7 from a possible 9. And, you know, the blue train keeps going, and we can just go every week, you know, and start to pick up 3 points. And when we don't win, hopefully we draw instead of lose, you know, and you just never know where it can take you, do you, with this squad. And it looks like Dave.
Paul, what do you reckon? You're going to put a bet on it?
I'm going to say it. Shall I say it, Claire?
Yeah, go on. Put it down now. So it's 7 o'clock on the 19th of August. What do you reckon, Paul?
Going to go the whole season unbeaten. Do you think it could, from what you've seen so far, Claire, do you think it could happen?
100%. I think the only thing is the defensive side for me. Yeah. We were quite easily, we let some goals in, but never say never. Arsenal did it, didn't they? You know,
Anyway, welcome to the show to Rob Carlo. So welcome, Rob.
Thank you very much, guys. Pleasure to be here.
So you're joining us to talk about your new book, mate, which is Under the Floodlights, I believe, which is based on the League Cup.
Yeah, that is correct. So it came out on Kindle last week and it comes out on paperback this week. And what it is, I'm really surprised with this, in fairness. Loads of books on the FA Cup. There's quite a few of those. But when I wanted to write this book, which is the third one I've done so far, I was so surprised to find out that there was nothing on the FA Cup, nothing on the League Cup. You got reports on online and all that. So when I put it to my publishers that I thought it was a good idea, they went, "Yeah, it's a fantastic one." So what I've done is it's called Under the Floodlights, and it's the 64 years that we've had of the League Cup so far, and it pays reverence and respect to all those clubs that have been in the final, and obviously contributed to it. And it's really interesting that out of the 23 winners of the competition so far, 8 of them or 9 of them have not won the FA Cup. So when people call the FA Cup the People's Cup, I honestly think that the League Cup is the Club's Cup, because it's given so much, so many good times to Oxford, QPR, Birmingham City, Swansea, a whole host of clubs.
I remember Luton as well, Rob, winning it in the 80s, was it? Yeah.
Well, that was my favourite ever final. I think out of all of them, it
weren't mine, mate.
I can imagine what yours was, in fairness. I really can. But Birmingham City have got a fantastic history in this competition. I don't know if you know this. I know Chris does, but I'm actually of the B6.
Yeah,
Good night, Rob.
Hey, Rob. Nice to have you.
I'm going to be the first ever Villa fan to come on here to big up Birmingham City. Now, in fairness, you've got a great record in it. What I do when I write a book is I just don't do it from this is what happened and blah, blah, blah. I get fans contributing to it. I get the officials, I get the players, and I get the managers, because there's a big tie that binds the footballer and the fan. So from the 63 final, I've got some great memories from Blues fans from Sheldon, actually, that went to both games at Villa Park and at St Andrews. Martin O'Connor has given me some great details on the 2001 final.
Yeah,
and then of course you've got the 2011 final. Now this is something that you're never going to hear off a Villa fan, but this is the absolute truth of the matter. 2011 was the most important cup win in 21st century English football, and I'll explain what I mean by that. So we mentioned Luton in '88. QPR have won it over a 10-year period. You've got Swindon that have done it. You've got Oxford that did it, and you've got Norwich that did it, and they all did it within a decent time frame. 1992 onwards, when obviously football really started under Sky Sports, you've got the top 6 winning everything, and that was very prominent in the early part of the 2000s. There was no real big cup upsets. Portsmouth won the FA Cup in 2008, but they beat Cardiff in the final. So, that David and Goliath part had been missing. And if you look at all the finals in the League Cup and the FA Cup, you've got, the favourites effectively winning it. We had no Wimbledon. We had no Southampton in '76. And, of course, those aforementioned teams that we've just done there. Birmingham City play Arsenal of the top 4, Sky 4. There was only ever going to be one winner in that game. Birmingham City decided to rip up that memo and win it. And it was the first time that we had a true good old-fashioned cup upset. Birmingham started it, and if you recall, the year after, Wigan won the FA Cup against Manchester City.
Yeah.
And since then, it's slowed down again. But that's why I always say that Birmingham's 2011 victory was old school. It was proper.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I said, we talk about your Southamptons, your QPRs and all them. They're big cup upsets.
Mm.
But, you know, we had quite a few of them in those days. Birmingham City in 2011, you know, we hadn't had one for years and years and years. And that's why, to me, it's the most important cup win in English football, especially in the 21st century. And you had your name on the cup that year. You know, I threw all the rounds, especially for those that win it. I think you played Bournemouth in one of the games. Last second goal. I think in the third or fourth round. Brentford. So I knew we began with B.
Kevin Phillips,
Yeah, that's it. Last second goal. Not deserved at all. And Birmingham go through. And I'm thinking to myself, I mean, because you had a good solid team there with Alex McLeish.
Yeah.
And then obviously we'll skip over the quarter-final. But you deserve to win that, in fairness. You know, I had, you know, no qualms about it on that night. Birmingham deserved to win that game. And then, of course, you had the West Ham game. They go 1-0 up in the second leg at St Andrews. You need to score 3 goals. You go and score 3 goals. So, to me, you had your name on the cup for that year.
Yeah.
But you know, you've got a very good history in the competition. Twice winners. Obviously losing to Liverpool, and let's face it, that was a hard one to take.
Yeah.
It was for Martin O'Connor as well. I spent a lot of time with Martin.
Still hurts.
You know, speaking about what it was like to be a player on that day, the penalty that he got in the last couple of minutes. But he talks about the dressing rooms after, and Trevor Francis was there with the players, and he was trying to console them, and they didn't want to know. They absolutely didn't want to know because they'd just given their all. Yeah. And in the end, Robbie Fowler knocked the door and told the Blues players to come in and, you know, have a bit of a party with us. So, you know, Birmingham deserve respect in this competition, most definitely. You know, I did a word count when I was going through the book, and I mentioned Birmingham City about 75 times. In the book, but it's a great competition. I first went in 1975. I've been in 77, and the rest of them. You know, it's a cup which is third on the podium, and always has been since day one. It's a competition that was born out of rejection for a new league. It's always been that third competition for us, but it's massively important. You ask fans of, you know, not just you as winners, but you ask fans of teams like Bradford in 2013, you know, get into the final. A 4th division club get into the final. Villa and Norwich in 75, the first time ever 2 teams from the second tier were involved in a final. Doesn't happen in the FA Cup.
No.
Simply doesn't happen. All the FA Cup finals, apart from when we had the non-league stuff like Tottenham in 01 or whatever, in 1901, Dave, there's been no 3rd and 4th division representation in the final. Yet there has now in the League Cup, and that's why I call it the Clubs Cup, because you know, you went down that season. I'll ask you guys a question now. And when I ask my blue-nosed mates this, they all give me the answer that I want. Right, so you went down that season. Not the first team to go down and win the League Cup. Norwich did it in 85. But you went down in 2011. Would you have forsaken the League Cup, that moment of glory, for stopping up?
No chance.
No.
Not a chance.
Never.
Not a chance.
Never. No. Mark Meredith, are you nodding there, mate?
I would. I'd have stayed in the Premier League if I had the choice.
Really?
Yeah. Wow.
You see, to me,
you're weird.
To me, football is all about, unless you're Real Madrid, your Barcelonas, your Liverpools, Man Uniteds, those clubs that dine on the very, very, very top table of football. Unless you support one of those clubs, Boca Juniors, whatever, football is all about 99% disappointment and 1% of enjoyment. And it's that 1% that stays with us. And that's why I'm glad when Birmingham City fans tell me they would rather have won that cup.
I'm just glad that I can go to my grave as a 45-year-old, and I hope that's a very long time away, having seen my club win a major trophy.
Absolutely.
There's not many 45-year-old fans of many clubs, is there, that can say that, unless you support one of the big boys, obviously. There's not many clubs that can say that, is there, as a 45-year-old fan?
No, and that's why football for the 99% of us is, like we say, it's the hope that kills, isn't it? It's hope that kills us, and it is disappointment after disappointment. But that 1%, like when Obafemi Martin scored that goal, right? Yeah. It was just pure and utter magic for you. I don't live in Birmingham anymore. I live down south, but when I do go back up to Birmingham, I talk to the fans about that game, and they've still got tears in their eyes.
Yeah.
When they're talking about it, they've still got tears in their eyes.
Yeah.
And I get it.
You don't talk about staying up 12 years later, but you talk about winning a major trophy 12 years later, and who's to say we wouldn't have gone down the next season even if we'd have stayed up? So
look, it's in your trophy cabinet. Yeah, it's in your trophy. I think you would have come up if it wasn't for that European adventure that you had. I mean, you were very close, weren't you, when you lost to Blackpool in that semi-final?
Yeah. But I mean,
it's similar to this season. We've got lots of games, haven't we?
Yeah. With rosy cheeks from his all-inclusive resort in Mallorca. He's joining us now. Is Mr. Craig Courtney. Good evening, Craig. You're on mute. He's still on mute.
Can you hear me, mother?
No, leave him on mute.
Here's one for you, Rob. Do you think that if you win the FA Cup or the League Cup, you're more of a champion than if you finish fourth or third in the Premier League? So should you not qualify for the Champions League, with it being called the Champions League, more so than the team that finishes third or fourth in the league, in the Premier League?
Well, Man United started off with their trouble, which is a book I wrote about. They weren't champions.
No,
they weren't champions the season before. Arsenal were champions.
Yeah,
but it's got that hollow feeling to it now. I mean, I'm glad that we're there this season because it's a new format, and it's quite exciting. But show me your top four medal, Grandad, or show me your League Cup winning medal. It's no comparison. So yes, you are. In 2011, Birmingham City were League Cup champions.
Yeah.
And that's the way it is. It's much better winning a trophy. Much better.
It's all about money, though, isn't it? When Birmingham City win the League Cup, they don't want us in the Champions League. They still want Arsenal, and they still want Tottenham or Man United, or Man City, or And don't get me wrong, the champions of the league should be in the Champions League. But apart from that, everyone else should be a champion, and that is surely the clubs that win the other trophies.
Well, let's face it, this new league format that they've come out with is it's an antidote, isn't it, to the Super League?
Yeah.
It's UEFA going, right, we don't like this breakaway that was threatened a couple of years ago, and we're now going to put this 36-team league together and do it that way, and it's their way of staving off, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Craig, you off mute now?
I have. I've finally managed to figure out how to switch it off on the phone.
Well done.
Evening all.
How are you, mate? You all right?
How's Morecambe?
I'm loving the life, mate. 1,200 miles away. And what can I say? We landed clouds. We had a day of rain. And since then, the sun's been beautiful. Just waiting to meet a few blue noses. I've seen a few that have been over here, but not met one yet.
No.
You still done the karaoke yet?
Oh, no, mate. Staying away from the karaoke, but loving the pour your own San Miguel, you can't beat that.
Alan, what's your thoughts on what I've just said about the, third and fourth place teams qualifying?
I agree entirely. And I would say as the years have gone by, if you think about the FA Cup, I know lower teams get to the final and the later stages more often than they do the FA Cup, but that's because they start in the last 92 when you got the FA Cup, the preliminary rounds and the first and second rounds. You've got nearly that many teams there.
Yeah.
So it's to win the League Cup possibly is a greater achievement because, there's in the League Cup, there's no Eastbournes and Hastings and whatever. It's league teams. And I actually, when we won it, I thought to myself, this is at least as good as the FA Cup. The whole occasion was better. It's for me personally, it was at a time of the year when I'm more interested in football than I am at the start of the cricket season, right? So the cup finals come on now. I mean, when I was a kid, I used to sit there all day. Now, you have to remind me that it's on. Oh, it's a 5 o'clock kickoff. What? All that business. It's just an addendum to the season now, where the League Cup is in the height of, just after Christmas, a couple of months after Christmas. You've had two-leg semi-finals, which tends to add to the drama if you've got a two-legged, because there's so many more things that can happen. And I mean, the two semi-finals of the League Cup were actually, certainly as home games, were my greatest memories. I mean, that Ipswich match will live in my memory ever. Yeah. I mean, you stood behind me that night, and my daughter, who was 14 then, grabbed me as if she'd never, I'd been missing for 20 years. It was such a thrill, and such a good game of football. And I to my grave, I will never forget that fourth goal when what's his name took a swing and missed it. And I thought, all the crap that we've had for 30, 40 years disappeared in a moment as he smacked that ball in the net. And I thought, wow, we've had a run of the ball, and the West Ham game was the same.
Yeah, unbelievable times, and hopefully, with the way it's all going at the club at the moment, we can start to see nights like that back at St Andrews in the coming years. There's no reason why we can't. If we continue to get this momentum on the field as well as off it, then there's no reason why we can't. But
Robert said there's a number of third-tier teams have won it. Why not us? Got a better chance this year than we've ever had before.
Yeah, well, yeah. Claire, what's your first memory of the League Cup? I mean, I remember the Rumbelows Cup, and I think it was was it Sheffield Wednesday? Sheffield Wednesday win it as well, Rob, in the early 90s.
Sheffield Wednesday were the last second division team to do it back in 91. So 10 years before you won it.
Yeah.
I know you were a Premier League team then, but it was the last time. It was a big cup upset, so there was a 10-year gap.
Yeah.
Effectively.
Yeah. Claire, what's your first memory of the League Cup?
I think the Ipswich game was a massive one. To be fair, I used to I think because we were so focused on the league, I think cup games, I was a bit like, we'll play like Cambridge and we'll play like, we used to always play all these teams. We're now playing week on week now. But I mean, I will never forget like the run up, the West Ham game, literally the whole stadium bounced. And I didn't see the Martin celebration because I was just mobbed and I just stood there and cried. And it was just, I never thought I'd ever see it. And thankfully I did. So, I've been quite, we've been through some heartache, but I wouldn't change any of it for that moment of seeing him lift that trophy was just brilliant.
So going back to Rob's earlier question, would we rather have survived than win that League Cup? I would not change that League Cup for the last 12 years of SHIT that we've had either. I wouldn't. I'd still rather the way things are, the way they are. Do you agree with that, Rob?
Absolutely. I mean, like I say, that second at Wembley, we didn't want to leave Wembley. because
No.
you just didn't want to come home. Because and it was the weird thing was, and I've said it before, that day I just ran into people I hadn't seen for years, and I mean they didn't talk to me,
They ran you the way.
No, seriously, it's just weird. I just ran into people from school, hadn't seen for donkey's years. People I knew from when I was a kid. It's just a weird day, and even now, like, it gives you goosebumps talking about it even now. I mean, all the finals are special and all the Wembley trips, but that one was just because you knew it's like a massive domestic honour, and like, wow, I can't believe we've done this.
But even away from that as well, there's some great Blues memories in this competition, isn't there? Kevin Francis' goal against Leeds.
Leeds one, yeah.
The ones against Middlesbrough as well. I mean, when he went Middlesbrough at home as well under Barry Fry, them 2 games, we've had some good moments, haven't we, in this competition?
I think it meant more Wembley because what happened at Cardiff. I mean, I was a massive AJ fan, and when he missed, it literally, you saw grown men cry and their hearts breaking. And I looked around and I was like, oh, okay, this is what it kind of means. But yeah, I think that's probably one of my earliest memories of actually, football can hurt at the same time as then you celebrate so many years after.
Yeah. My earliest Blues memory of the League Cup is probably when we played each other when Tatey got sent off at your place.
The 93.
Was it Kevin Richardson, and he sort of...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or he pretended to fall over the barrier.
Yeah, exactly.
And even the first leg at our place, I mean, that's full of drama. I mean, Franey missed the penalty, Bosnich saved it.
Yeah.
And we had a patched up team, and we gave them a right good game.
Yeah.
But, they nicked it at the end.
The atmosphere that night in that first leg at St Andrews.
Yeah, it's electric.
I was in the railway end. I couldn't get a ticket in our end. I was in the railway end, and it was electric.
Yeah.
Electric.
Yeah. We also had a couple of good games against Newcastle in this competition as well, didn't we?
Yeah.
Shearer had his penalty saved by Benno, and we beat him. Benno got the winner, didn't he, in the last minute as well? So, when you think about it, we have had some good moments, haven't we, in this cup?
That was the first time. Taking my wife to a game for the first time was when Benno saved that penalty against Newcastle. So that one sticks. As do the games, actually, you've just mentioned at Vile Park and back at St Andrews. There have been some crackers, absolute crackers, but you'll never take away from me. Never take away the Ipswich game.
Oh, yeah.
I know West Ham was good, but Ipswich was just unbelievable. And that final, still stick by the facts, out singing the Liverpool fans.
Yeah.
There ain't many say they've done that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Rob, can I just ask? I mean, these youngsters don't know. I was there, mate, and I remember the start of the League Cup, and to say it probably had an inauspicious start because basically the London press, particularly, poo-pooed it as, wasn't it called Hardacre's baby? It was his idea.
It was completely derided by Fleet Street at the time, as it was by a lot of clubs. Tottenham didn't come into it for about 5 or 6 years, as did Arsenal. So, it gave, Villa, Norwich, Leicester Blues, in those early days. But I think when the cup really came to light was when it was moved to Wembley in '67 and QPR beat West Brom. West Brom were 2 up in that game, and QPR won 3-2. So I think that was the start of it. And of course, when it got a European place as well, it's a great competition. It's an absolutely fantastic competition. I've been to many a final in it, and don't forget, in '95, '96, it could have been a Villa Birmingham final again.
Yeah.
Because we played Leeds in that final, if you recall. So. Yeah, I can imagine the West Midlands Police having a field day when Leeds won that game, to be honest with you, to stop because we're all going, who's having the M1, who's having the M40, to go down there. But yeah, Birmingham City, if you look, are in the top 10 clubs in the League Cup, and it deserves respect.
Yeah. When you say it like that, that's mad. But
Well, like I say, I've got a lot of fans' contributions, and the first one was a guy called Keith Robotham. I hope I pronounced that correctly. And he's from Sheldon, and he gave me some great memories, really, really good. So the first fan memory in the book is from 1963, when he talks about getting a ticket to both matches.
Question here from JMF Aquatics on YouTube. What do we do if Man City win everything? How do you work out who qualifies for the Champions League then? So I guess that's the only way then you can do it, isn't it? By doing it the way we do it, second, third and fourth have to be then. So you fall back on it if that is the case. But surely the cup winners, if they're not, in the top four, say, they have to qualify for the Champions League more so than the clubs that win nothing and finish third or fourth when it happens.
Well, the FA Cup should be given precedence over teams in third and fourth. I know we benefited from it last season, but, again, Grandad, show me your fourth place medal. You know, it's just not the same. It's just absolutely not the same. I'm obviously going to enjoy it, but, to win a competition, like I say, if you're a glory hunting fan, and let's face it, Villa and Blues fans are not, along with a lot of others, it's all about disappointment. But like I said, Claire was just talking about that moment when Martin scored. I talk to blokes. I'm 58, but I know you're supposed to say you don't look it, Rob, at that stage. But I talk to blokes up 10 years older than me. Come on, what was it like that day? Oh no, they got tears in their eyes, and that is football proper.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Mark Meredith, can we win the League Cup this season?
Ask me next week after the Fulham game.
Yeah. No, I think that's winnable.
Anyone can win. And listen, anyone can win the cup, obviously, but it gets tougher and tougher, doesn't it? And you know what? The thing is, I still don't think the so-called big clubs take the cup seriously, do they? They've got so much else going on that a lot of the time it's going to be their kids playing in it. So if you get the look of the draw, then why not? But I wouldn't say. I don't think we're gonna. I think we got more chance of going to Wembley with the Johnson paint Bristol Street motor than we do for the.
That mate, I thought you was going to say playoff final. Then I was going to.
I'll take that. Well, I want to be the champion, so I don't want to take the playoffs either. But take it if we have to.
Yeah, 100%.
Rob, would it be fair to say that the '63 final, which was obviously a local derby, added a lot of spice to it? But if you look at the two previous finals, was it Rochdale the Villa beat in the first one?
It was Rotherham in that first one, and then Norwich played Rochdale in the second one.
So that's hardly getting the old the heartbeats going, is it? But then the Blues Villa final, that two first division sides, locked horns, and after that, there weren't many. Your Leicester's won it, didn't they? And Chelsea won it, and West Brom won it, and whatever. It took off from that moment. The personnel that were reaching the final stages suddenly started to look a bit more like, first division cup winners and so on and so forth. So we did the competition a big favour between us.
We really did. And I note that. Funny enough, you've said that. I note it in the book as it's the first final where we had decent crowds. 28 at Blues or something like, and 30 odd at Villa. So I actually put at the end of that chapter that, this would have been the final that Alan Hardaker would have been really proud of because it got people through the door.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Can I just ask Rob as well?
Just on that, Rob. What? Obviously, then it was two legs. Do you think that takes it away from being a final when it's over two legs like that?
Yeah, I think it did. The first six, apart from the Blues Villa game in '63, the crowds were down a little bit. It was when it moved to Wembley and became a one-off final. And it was a great one because QPR of the third division won it. So, funny enough, one of the people that I interviewed for the book was Alan Hudson, the old Chelsea player. And that season in '67, because you got to the semi-final that year, you played, you lost to QPR in the semi. So that was another good cup run for the Blues. Alan Hudson was a big fan of Rodney Marsh. So he followed QPR all the way through to the final. But because he was in part of Chelsea's under-16 squad, he couldn't make the final itself. So he had to go and train with Chelsea at the time. So I've had some great stories from, Keith Hackett did the 85 as a referee. And he's got some great stories for me. It was just wonderful to get the fans' contributions.
Yeah, so Rob, tell us, mate, where we can get this book from, and we can obviously share the link after the show so people can get their hands on it.
I want to read it. Yeah.
Okay, well, like I said to you, it's out on Kindle now. It's published by Pitch Publishing, which is one of our biggest publishers for football books. So you can go to their website, but it's now on Amazon. And as I say, it's with all the good bookstores and all the bad bookstores as well. Okay. So yeah, if you go onto the Amazon link, put in under the floodlights. I had to look at the book then just to get the title of it because I've forgotten it. So yeah, if you go onto that, but like I say, it pays. Chris will tell you on Facebook. I'm fierce with my banter between Blues and Villa, right? Yeah. And I love it because it's my way of staying in with my blue nose mates, right? But this book was written with respect, and that's what I want to get over to Blues fans. That they're as equally as important as everybody else.
Rob,
in the competition.
Rob, just before you go, Rob, is it safe to say you've got that tiny bit of how can I put this? Do you love the Blues just a little bit?
And everybody says that. I'm not. I've never been a Blues hater, Chris. Never, never. Do I hate seeing the Northwest and London and all these clubs having Premiership games without Birmingham clubs being in it? Yeah, I do. I do. I'm not. I haven't missed since '75. I've been to all the Blues Villa games, and I'm one of the few ones that love it. I just love it. I just love the atmosphere between. Obviously, there's been times when it's been a bit on top, but I would love to see Blues, Albion, Coventry, all up in the. I don't see why the West Midlands clubs, and if Tom Wagner comes good on his promise to you guys, you get a good stadium in there. Villa need Birmingham City. Yeah. Birmingham City need Aston Villa at the end of the day. If you get this new stadium, we've got to be on our toes. We cannot be complacent about it. So, do I love Birmingham City? No, this you know that. But do you know what? I want to see us all in that top flight again.
Yeah. Can I just say when we get this new stadium, not if.
Yeah, and we don't need you either.
But anyway,
I think
anyway, Rob.
Sorry.
Giving up your time, Rob, and joining us, mate. It's much appreciated, and all the best with the book, mate. It's been a very enticing, interesting subject.
Cheers, guys. I appreciate it, and good luck for this season.
All the best, mate.
Take care.
Cheers, Rob.
Bye.
Yeah, it was good.
Interesting.
It was interesting, but yeah, top man he is, yeah.
That was good, yeah. So yeah, Craig,
he's better than Craig Courtney, that's for sure.
Yeah.
This paper clip
tonight, anyway. Yeah. He looks a bit peachy there, Craig.
Look at him.
It's not peachy. It's called it's called prawn pink at the moment. It goes really brown afterwards. It's what you get for having 30 degrees of heat, and I don't like taking the mick, but I just got to show you the view. It's just like you can't beat it when it's nice and sunny, and
like
we've even got a kids' disco on the go at the moment.
Looks like my back garden.
The child who's
was that?
the floor because she doesn't want to come on camera.
Who are you?
So you're gonna have a dance tonight, Craig?
Well, we're off to a show in a wee while. That's out in the town centre, so we're off to that, which is going to be a bit of a laugh. But you know, all inclusive and cocktails. You can't beat it. Go on, Claire.
Have you? Is there a Mallorca OSC?
Yeah.
Do you know what? I did think about it. I think we should form one. So I might, if I can find any blue noses out here, and I find out that's what they're doing, then I am definitely going to be tapping them up. Nice segue there, Claire. I like that. But no, I just want to shout out before I do disappear and all my internet goes off that there's still loads going on with the OSC, and we've had our first set of meetings now, and actually within the next couple of weeks we have our first big get together, which is at Tocker Social in Birmingham. So it's where the old Debenhams was, and we've literally got an open invite to every member of the OSC to come and join. Obviously, Mark, we'll get you in there when you come over for your hollybobs later on, but that's the first of many things. The OSC bar, or the Ball and Globe as it was named at the last game, will be open and will become a members-only bar moving forwards. There's still loads going on. The groups are just expanding like mad. So I know there's people that have been apprehensive about joining, but I just want to say it's working out, you know, and things are going to get better. We listen and we provide feedback on a constant basis to the club. I can say that feedback I've provided, and I know Claire as well provided to me, has not only been listened to but acted upon at the club. So they do listen, and it's worth doing. So no, if you haven't joined, don't forget www.bcfcosc.com. Find your local club. Costs you a tenner for the season, but there's loads of perks. And I just want to shout out one last thing. Solihull OSC is the kind of main group at the moment that's actually arranging for ball boys and ball girls for the home games. So we've already had the first couple lined up, more to come, just agreed a team for the Wrexham game as well. So it's all part and parcel in the perks that you get of being members. Again, reach out if you need anything. But on that front, I'm about to lose all my battery, so I'm going to have to love you and leave you, but I will be joining next week. And I'll let you know in between if I manage to find any blue noses in Tacoma or in the area, and whether we do set up an OSC for it, Claire. So that's a good idea. But on that front, I'm going to leave you.
Yeah, make sure you
have
win.
A lovely time, everyone. Look, another great result of the weekend. I didn't join, but it was brilliant to watch it. I think now we're scoring goals. I was lying on my son's bed trying to prompt everybody what was going on. So I'll be doing the same against Leyton Orient. And of course, now that Fulham's on the TV, I'm still here. So we'll be finding the local bar and making sure they've got it on the big screen for us. So, yeah, leave you all now. Thanks a lot. And I'll speak to you all soon.
Cheers, Craig.
Cheers, all. Bye.
Sign off.
See you, mate.
So, can I just say, you know, when Rob mentioned that he was from the South Coast, did anybody look straight at Alan?
Yeah.
And think,
He
like,
looks familiar, funny
you
enough.
know, love child. You know what I mean?
I tell you, he's 58. I mean, I was a terror, but I'm not, you know, be fair, 15, I don't think so. Just to bring the whole programme down a bit, I still haven't had my season ticket yet.
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
Really?
I'd phone up.
I did.
Don't tell him about the
I phoned
phone.
up last week. I phoned up last week. They said that it'll be there next week. Well, it's still next, you know.
It's still next week, yeah.
He'll
Anyway.
get there. He'll
Yeah,
get
yeah. Just jump on a train now.
He's been on hold. He's been on hold since Saturday morning on the phone.
Yeah, it's the best thing.
3 hours I took the last time.
Wow.
Well, it is a 3 o'clock kickoff the next home game, so I can turn up and, you know, give them a face-to-face telling off and collect me ticket.
Remember, though, it's not the ticket people that are doing it. It's because of an outside agency that who's got. And I think, you know, last few seasons we've had about 10 to 12,000 season tickets. All of a sudden it's jumped to 18. Well, I mean, you know, the people who are on the front line, it's not normally them. So I just think, you know, just...
It was explained to me that the supplier of the tickets right, had not supplied the tickets on the Tuesday before the season started. That's why they suddenly sent out all these, whatever you call them, digital tickets, which... I tried my best to download, but I just failed miserably. And I accepted that explanation, but, you know, I'm getting a bit pissed off now, to be fair. We're now talking, we're nearly 3 weeks late, and they've promised it me, but he said to me, if it's not come by Wednesday, give us a ring. Well, why should I? You know, why should I spend half my bloody day phoning them people? But anyway, that's the story. Let's move on. I got tickets for Orient on Saturday. I'm not saying where I got them from, but I won't be sitting with the thousands. Shall we put it that way?
Yeah, Rob, have you sent any emails as well, Alan, about your season ticket at all?
Well, who to? I cannot find an email address.
Obviously, Craig.
Alan, we'll get it sorted for you.
Yeah, there you go. Craig and Claire. There you go. Sorted.
Going back to the Fulham game, am I right in thinking is it sort of your own season ticket seat, or are they just opening the Cup initially? It is your normal.
If you've done so for example, me and my mum were on the Club Cup scheme, so we'll have our own seats. Everybody else, it's just been a free for all, which I think I know that some people on social media aren't happy with that, and I do understand, because obviously a lot of people want to sit in their own seat. So I don't know whether it's something that the club could look at, but obviously we're not opening every single stand. So, and I think this is the thing: a lot of people like, where are the tickets for this, where are the tickets for that? But actually, if the club are hearing it might be on TV, and then they straight away put it out, and then also Sky say it's on TV, and it's about pricing and everything else. So we've just got to be, you know, a bit patient about tickets and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to be honest. I don't think we'll get a massive crowd, will we? We never, even though it's on telly and all the rest of it, isn't it? It's low price.
Away thing though. So people, you know, if you are low on the away scheme, it goes towards it. Cup games. Yeah.
And the Bristol Street Motors will count as well, won't it?
Yeah, I think
all the cup games are
counted. So, you know, get down there, support the lads. It will be a good test, I think. I'm really happy we've got a Premiership team, because I think it's going to show how far off we are. Yeah. Even though we are in League One, it will be a good test for the team. And I just think that, you know, everyone will raise their game. We know Jay's going to probably play anyway, so it'd be nice to see him back.
Yeah. I think we're playing the under-21 match. We're going to play in the under-21s, haven't we?
Yeah.
You're probably playing both.
Yeah. Well,
I'm really looking forward to see how many tickets we sell for that.
Yeah, I don't know. We've managed to get our own seats for Fulham anyway, but I don't know. I don't know how we're going to get, to be honest, overall. I'm not sure. We don't usually... To be honest, though, when was the last time we had a Premier League team at this point in the League Cup? I can't remember.
Fulham. Last time we...
Was it COVID? Didn't we have, like, last time we had anybody like a Premier League team, was it Tottenham we played it in the FA Cup or something? And every other time since we play, like... Or no, Man City, wasn't it?
Yeah, Man City. Spurs was a friendly.
Yeah, and then literally now we play, like, Cambridge away and things like that.
There's another brilliant League Cup game we didn't mention, Tottenham away, when Adibola ripped them.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, so yeah, there's
saying that. When was the last time we took 2,000 supporters away to a first round League Cup game?
Well, there was only 5,000 people there,
exactly.
And 2,000 were Birmingham fans.
Yeah.
And it was much the same Saturday.
I know.
I'll tell you my Wickham ticket story. Right, I pulled up in High Wycombe Station on my way to the Rangers match, right? And I've got my phone and I looked at, High Wycombe. And I thought, I'll see if I can get a ticket for our game. So got to join. Are you registered? No. Right, I've joined. Then I ordered my ticket and it said, you can't have a ticket because you haven't registered before July. Now, I'm thinking to myself, what difference does that make? Anyway, I thought, well, getting near to the fixture, I realised they won't sell all the tickets. I'll try again. And I got nowhere. But when I put the TV on, albeit 10 minutes late and blurred and stopping and it was awful, there's nobody in the main stand at Wycombe. Nobody.
It wasn't a full house.
No.
I could sit there. You know, I'm a 73-year-old man. I'm not going to start a riot. You know, what? And I live in Bexhill. I don't live in Birmingham. If I got a Birmingham address, I could have understood them saying, sorry, sir, you can't come. But I live in Bexhill. And all I'm going to do is sit there, as I did at Charlton. I had no problems. I had a 7.5 nick a cup, pint of beer and a £3 cup of tea, which is actually cheaper than St Andrews.
Yeah.
And I had a very pleasant evening. And I got on the train and I talked to Charlton's people and I talked to the few Blues fans. What on earth is this reason? And I could have bought a ticket for the following week when they played Wigan. I could have come to that, but they wouldn't let me come to the Birmingham match. And they don't know I'm from Birmingham. What's the point? And they just turn in. I know this won't go down well with Paul, but in Scotland, right, when Rangers and Celtic play away, the opposition say how many tickets you want, and you can have the ground, and we'll fit our 2,500 fans in the other end. And that's what they should be doing with us. They should say, right, we have an average gate of 5,000, right? We got a ground at Oz 10,000, and you can have all the other seats. Simple as that. And they get money, don't they? 30 quid a time at this ticket I wanted to buy. 30 quid for an old man. Why? You know, they could have sold another 1,000 of them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's 30,000 quid down to 20. Makes no sense.
Anyway, on to predictions.
I want to hear part two.
Thought to me, Mark Meredith.
I'm just going to have a sneaky 1-0. Alfie May.
Rob.
I think we're going to win comfortably. I think we're going to annihilate them. So I'm going to go 4-0.
Bloody hell. Claire?
3-1.
I was going to say 3-1. Chris?
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of goals in this. I'm going to go. I'm going to go 4-0 as well, Rob. Yeah. There you go. I agree.
I'll go 4-2 just to be different. Alan?
3-0.
Oh, some goals in it.
I've been to Orient 5 or 6 times.
Yeah.
Never seen them win.
Really?
And they're not all Birmingham games. I've gone to see them on other occasions for various reasons.
No, you're on about you've never seen Leighton Orient.
Never seen Orient win.
I've seen Leighton Orient win them a game.
Okay.
What happens if we score 6, Chris? What's the deal with that?
Well, I'm still waiting. You know what I mean? I'll go with the flow. If we can score 6. Not in cup games, obviously.
And we all predict that it'll be the same 11 as well from Wycombe, yeah? Or do we think that?
I don't know why you would change it unless there's somebody who all of a sudden becomes injured. The whole point now is to gel, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does he bring in if Williamson's fit? Does he bring him in from the start?
That's the question.
I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think no, be harsh on that, Harris. I mean, I know that in first half I was a bit like, and against Charlton, but then he kind of got into it. So I don't know. But that's a good thing, though, isn't it? We're all going, shall we play this one, or shall we play them? So it's nice instead of, being stuck with the same old.
Yeah.
I would play the same team that we finished with.
Would you? Yeah. So
I've always been that yucky armour on. I think he would be. I mean, if you've had Anderson and you've had Handerson running at you for 60, 70 minutes, then you bring Yucky Armour on and Miyoshi. I mean, if you're fullback, you're going to be like, oh.
Like the Simpsons, there he's already dead.
Yeah. The thing is as well, I think he'll play Harris on Saturday because he can't play on Tuesday. So I think then Williamson will start then to then get, because obviously he's been injured, hasn't he? So
yeah. How good is he, by the way, Anderson? I think he's underrated personally. Doesn't
phenomenal in this league, much needed, pace, power. Sometimes, he was, and he's trying to form a partnership with Laird, because didn't he play on the left at some points last time?
Last season he did, yeah. And
I think he's starting to get into the right, but I think him and Laird could make a really good partnership.
Yeah, because you got Miyoshi.
Yeah, I'm glad he stayed.
Yeah. I like Miyoshi as well. I even like Dembele as well at times. You know, Dembele showed quality for us, certainly under Eustace 12 months ago. But he's just not been able to get going again like that, has he, since, for various different reasons.
Can I ask a question, Paul?
Getting it that, you know, like there will be times where he will have to change it, but I think we just need to kind of stick with, you know, the certain players, and I think cup games will be massive for the Tyler Roberts and some of the others to play. You know, like Buchanan, we've still got to come back and things like that. So it'll be quite nice to see in cup games.
Yeah, when's he back? I noticed on the app that he's not even on the squad list, is he? Is he?
It's like, he's looking at October, November, Paul, I think, wasn't
2
it?
months, he said 2 or 3 months, I think.
So yeah, he's going to be.
Yeah, because I looked at the update on the app of the squad, and he wasn't there. I looked at the defenders, and he wasn't there. I don't know if that was just a mistake or what.
Shall I tell you what's weird, though, talking about November? We could theoretically be out the FA Cup by then. Because we've got to play the first 2 rounds, haven't we?
Oh, of course, yeah.
What's wrong with you, Rob?
Hey?
What's wrong with you bringing the show down?
I mean,
That's his job.
I'm just being I don't think we will for a minute. I think we'll, easily get to the semi-finals at least.
If in 10 games' time we're still 2 points and 2 positions behind Crawley Town, I will be very surprised. That's my local team now, Crawley. Goodness me. You can't believe how non-league they really are. So, be prepared. You'll be lucky to get 500 tickets for that.
Yeah.
I think we go there a day before Christmas Eve, I think, 23rd of December.
Yeah.
Good shout here from Don Kavanagh, Johnson, Clark, Harris. Peterborough, if we could get somebody like that in, then that would be a good signing, I think.
Absolutely. I've been looking at him for 3 years now.
Didn't he go to Rotherham?
Oh, yeah, he did, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Peterborough, yeah. I just read that.
We need someone. Jukovic is always.
Yeah.
Because I just think he just needs, like Jukovic, I don't think he will give you either half an hour or he might start a cup game, but I don't see him lasting. But we still love him though.
The talk now is that they've accepted a £5 million bid for Donovan from Everton. Yeah. That's what they're saying. Yeah. Again, it's Facebook talk, but I just seen that come up. So that'd be interesting to do. I think we talked about it. It's probably be a decent young player, but I think you'd take the $5 million at this point. I would certainly.
Well, I mean, I saw a few minutes of the under-21s today. They lost 3-0, and he didn't. Him and George Hall didn't look on the as if they were switched on at all. They looked like they looked out of the depth. So I don't know. Just an observation.
Yeah. So big good evening to Big Singh. He's just mentioning there about physicality as well. That's what we need, isn't it? We need somebody. We need a 28-year-old Jukovic, don't we?
Yeah.
Basically,
Cosgrove's coming back.
Say again?
The Cosgrove's coming back.
Did you see who scored for Barnsley the other night?
Roberts and Cosgrove, or it?
Roberts and Cosgrove, yeah. I what we need, but only better, is a Cheksanuke. I mean, he never did anything against us last week, but that kind of physicality, but with pace. Yeah.
Roberts Cosgrove. That sounds like a police show or something, doesn't it?
Or solicitors.
Yeah. So, Yeah. Well,
Somebody else has said that Donovan might be off to Brentford.
yeah,
Oh
possibly.
yeah, I read that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you'll be
Brentford and-
staggered at what Blues have offered him.
Brentford and one of the club's linked. He did play for the under-21s today, though, as well.
Yeah, he did.
As did George Hall as well. So
I would get rid of George Hall. I think he's too injury prone. And I rate him, don't get me wrong. I think he'll be a good player. If he didn't have the injury problems, he'd be in our first team. But I think Donovan I would loan out first. He played a lot under Rooney, but I think he's like Dixon, isn't it? I think he needs, play like men's football or such and be first team. Maybe that's like a League Two team or something like that. But if they go, they go. And fair play to you. Thank you very much. Move on.
I was just about to say that then, Claire. I think in the perfect world, you probably just loan both of them out, don't you? And then it's still your players then, and you can keep an eye on them for the season. Yeah. But, the fact is we're spending money on players. I'm sure they still want to bring money back into the club. And so if that's something that we can get from these younger ones, and I'm sure that that's something they'll probably go for.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of signing our own players rather than loaning them, to be honest, personally. I know we've got 2 loan players in now, haven't we, at the moment? Am I right there, I think, with an option to buy?
Samstead and Tavis.
Yeah. There's an option to buy Stamstead as well, isn't there?
I like him. He's got something about him. He's got, the fans are shouting at him and then he turned and smiled and things like that. And, Charlton, he was rallying us up, not doing the thing, but you can tell and things like that. So I think he's got a bit of blues about him.
Yeah, we need people like that.
Like Williamson's best mate or something, isn't he? That's so important.
That's right.
They went to school together as kids.
Yeah.
They grew up together. Yeah, absolutely.
I think, in all honesty, it's 11 signings. They tick every box for me, and I say, the manager, whoever's picked them, whether it's the manager, whether it's Craig Gardner or whoever, tick against everyone. I have no doubts about any of them. They'll fit in. They are the quality that we need.
Yeah.
Where the hell is that 1.5 hours gone?
I know it's flown by, any Chris. It always does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't seem 5 minutes since I said sponsored by AMG Logistics, and I'm about to say it again.
Right. Good show. Good old-fashioned football talking show that was. Good.
Yeah. Good, yeah. Thanks to Rob Carlo for joining in as well and talking to us about his book as well.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Okay then, Paul. Say goodbye.
Okay, so we've been the Tilton Talk Show. Thanks everyone for watching and those as well that will be listening. I've been Paul Hipkiss, and it's good night from me, and it's good night from Mark Meredith.
Good night from me, and it's good night from Claire.
Good night from me. See some of you on Saturday, and it's good night from The Robe.
Good night from me, and good night from young Alan.
Love child.
Where's he?
Good night, everybody, and God bless you all. And I'm handing over to the man at the helm, Chris Browne.
Good night, everybody, and thanks for joining in. Good night.
Oh, we're going to a new cell.
Yeah, I like this one. It's got a bit of ventilation. Got picture up there.
Good.
Life's getting better.
Wonder how Craig's getting on his disco.
He'd be like Rodney and only falls nonsense.
Groovy gang.
The groovy gang, yeah.
Groovy.
Paulie's in the groovy gang.
I want pictures of that. On his skateboard.
Yeah. Albie wants to know why he came second.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
If only you could hear us. Oh, of course you can.
Probably can.
Yeah. Good night.
All right.
Leicester nil, Tottenham nil.
60 seconds in.
And we are.
Vardy's playing. He's about 39, isn't he?
Somebody's on.
Started.
Yeah.
Minute ago.
Yeah.